Good morning, guys. Welcome back to PR Athletics. Welcome back to Prepisodes. We're on episode 16, which means I'm 2 weeks out. So I'm going to start off with doing a physique update. Now, this week I actually kind of fudged up a little bit. I went over my macros a couple days out of the week, and I found myself almost binging, was able to curb the temptation not to, but I did go over my calories and macros. Now my weight did go down, but it did not go down as much as it should have, so my calories were decreased again, and I'm back on track. It's a new week, and yesterday was the first day of the new week, and I hit my macros and calories to a T, and I'm going to do that every day until stage day. So what's done is done. It's behind me, and I'm just going to put in as much work as I can until it's time to compete. So let's jump into my physique update, and then we'll see you back here in a moment. Alright guys, so that was 2 weeks out. In terms of my physique, I'm feeling pretty good. There's obviously still some areas that I'd like to tighten up, but I'm really happy with the overall shape that I was able to create throughout this off-season and this prep. So I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing, and we'll see what I can bring to the stage. Now, in terms of what we're doing for this vlog, we are talking about the possible burdens of competing and whether or not you should be competing or considering getting on stage. There's a couple things that you should be taking into consideration before you make that decision. So I'm going to start with the lighter stuff, and the first thing that you should take into consideration is your financial situation. So competing is not cheap. It's a very expensive sport. So with most organizations, you have several fees you have to pay. So the first one being your membership fee, and for the Ontario Physique Association that I compete with, that's $100 annually. Then you have your registration for your actual show that you're doing, which is usually again about $100, and if you compete multiple times a year, that's several $100s just in registration. Then you have your tan, and that's with the OPA's tanner. It's $140 per show that you do for your tan. Then you have the cost of your suit, your shoes, your hair, your makeup. If you're hiring a coach, like training coach, nutrition coach, posing coach, then you have your groceries, your supplements, your gym membership. So it comes with a lot of costs, and you need to be able to commit to those financial costs before starting a prep. I mean, it would be such a shame to go through, 12, 16, 18, 20 weeks of prep and then realize that you can't actually afford to compete. So that should be the first consideration, or at least one of the considerations that you should make. The second consideration is, are you willing to give up certain social things? So it is a burden on your social life. Now, I'm a huge advocate of balancing prep with life, as you saw in my last Prepisode, or the Prepisode before, I can't remember. But when it comes down to it, prep does take out a lot of flexibility from your social life. Are you gonna move, Steven? Thank you. So, you can't always go out to eat, you can't drink, you can't just on a whim go get food, whatever the case might be, that you don't have as much flexibility. So it can take a lot of planning, and that can put a lot of stress on your social life. So also be prepared to give up certain things in that aspect. Now, the third consideration, and I think this one is probably the most important, and some people talk about it, so it is starting to come to light, but I find it's also really still a big issue in this industry, And that's competing when you are not in a healthy mindset or your mental health is not where it should be. So I see a lot of, especially in girls, I mean, that's more of who I follow anyways, so I mean, this might be prevalent for men as well, but I see it especially in girls, competitors who currently have eating disorders or some form of disordered eating or body dysmorphia or just really poor body image in general, and competing isn't going to make those things better. If anything, it's going to make them worse. It's going to emphasize the issues that you're having. A competition prep is not a cure for your eating disorder. It's not going to make you love your body if you hated it before. So if you're starting prep in a place where you are unhappy with your body or have a poor relationship with food, you shouldn't be prepping. Don't go and hire a competition coach. Go hire a therapist. Go hire a specialist and get yourself healthy. I mean, that's not to say someone who in the past has had an eating disorder can't compete. I used to suffer with disordered eating several years ago, but I was fully recovered for years before I even contemplated stepping on the stage. Because I'm sorry, if you don't like your body and you don't respect your body and treat your body properly, in off season, it's not going to change when you just lose some body fat, because there's going to be another flaw you see. I mean, when you're in prep, you are looking at yourself in the mirror every day. You are putting yourself on stage to be judged on your physical appearance, and that can wreak absolute havoc if you are not in the mindset that you need to be in. So yeah, that's just my really quick spiel. I wanted to keep this one super short because I know my vlogs have been getting a little bit on the longer side, so I'm hoping this is under 5 minutes. But those are my 3 considerations for people who are starting to contemplate the idea of competing. So make sure that you can commit financially, and if you can't, it's okay to wait. The stage will always be there. Can you commit to the social burdens or inflexibility of prep? And 3, how is your mental health? Is it in good standing? How is your body image? Also, is it in good standing? If it's not, prep is not for you at this point in time. Not to say it never will be, but you need to be healthy first. So guys, that is the Prepisode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you never want to miss an episode from either me or Russell, click the subscribe button. Now, one thing I do want to know, and you can leave this in the comments below, is what other considerations should first-time competitors or future competitors think about before making the decision to start a contest prep? Any advice, tips, or even insights, leave them down below, and we'll see you next week in Prepisode 17. Bye guys.